What is up, everybody? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys with Dallas Stewart back on the speakerphone. Dallas, say what's up.
What's going on? Back again.
Yeah, after we just did our conference championship picks, but now this time we're going to do something else. We're going to have a little fun with this one. Our season's over now, obviously, since, we lost in the playoffs to the Packers, but now we want to do a recap of our season, and we want to go over our top five wins of the season. Our top five Seahawks, the top five Seahawk wins of the season, and me and Dallas's opinions, our favorite wins of the season, and the significance and why we put them in that number, and the number of what we're gonna put them in. We might have some honorable mentions before number one, though, but we'll just go as we go. Wouldn't you say, Dallas?
Yeah.
All right. So, top five wins of our 2019 season for the Seattle Seahawks. First, to start it off with number 5, we're going to start off with our win in Pittsburgh in week 2 when we played the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Dallas, do you want to say why?
Well, it was a kind of grinded out type of game. Obviously, it was the game where Roethlisberger got hurt and he got replaced by Mason Rudolph, but it also ended the 20-year drought in Pittsburgh, a place we hadn't won since 1999. And it was our first road win of the year because it was our first road game of the year. And it was just it ended up being a close game in the end, where we were able to run like the last 5 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock,
and Chris Carson
give Pittsburgh the ball back.
Yeah, that was gutsy going for it on the 4th and 1 and handing the ball off to Carson.
Together.
Yeah, we watched that one up at Kenny Burns' viewing party up at the Glow Martini Lounge up in Bonnie Lake, I think it was. Yeah, we watched that game up there, and then also during the week I got introduced to a Steeler fan on YouTube, buddy of mine. Shout out to Eric of Steel. We've been, became friends during this football season, so it was cool to get, linked up with him. It was unfortunate that, Roethlisberger ended up getting hurt in that game, but it started out, we got a couple of sacks on him, and then obviously Carson fumbled the ball. Pittsburgh got ahead early, and then we were able to get a field goal. I think we were down 7-3 at the half, or I forgot how that one happened, but
I
then
think it might have been like 10-7.
Oh yeah, it was 10-7 because we threw a touchdown pass to Will Dissly.
Yeah, and I remember Myers missed like a long 58-yard field goal before half.
Yeah, Heinz Field is really hard to kick in, and I remember that missed kick before the half too. But I remember Dissly had 2 touchdowns in that game, and this is back when Dissly was helping.
Rashad Penny had a nice touchdown run.
Yeah, Penny's run was really nice too. And Myers I think Myers had a couple more field goals after the 2 Dissly touchdowns before the big Rashad Penny touchdown.
No, I don't think.
Oh wait, that's right. It wasn't a couple Myers touchdown. It wasn't a couple Myers field goals. That's right, because
Boswell field goals.
Yeah, there were some Boswell field goals, and then McDougal had the interception. I think that set up the second Will Dissly touchdown after Mason Rudolph threw an interception on. I think it was his first throw, and then later on. Penny had the touchdown, and I know Carson had a fumble too. Had 2 fumbles in that game, which was a negative. But then this was the game where Russell Wilson hit DK Metcalf for his first career touchdown. Metcalf had his first career touchdown. I think he torched Bush on that play. Devin Bush. I think that's who it was he torched on the play.
Yeah, and it was just nice to get that monkey off our backs and not win. Because the last 2 times we were at Heinz, we got shut out.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that DK Metcalf's first career touchdown. He kind of bobbled it, but he managed to get control of it in the end zone and have both feet in balance for that touchdown. That was a crazy play for Metcalf's first career touchdown in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then of course, obviously Carson had that fumble, and then and that was also the play where we won the first ever pass interference challenge, where there should have been a roughing the passer on that play too, and then Wilson and Tyler Lockett got grabbed, and there was no flag, and Pete challenged it and won, which ended up, I think that was the one that resulted in the Metcalf touch.
Our post-game video was telling Randy Moss and Terry Bradshaw to hold the L.
Because they picked Pittsburgh over us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one too. All right. Best win number 4. Win number 4 would be our comeback win against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked rough to begin with, where we let the first kick, where they just went downfield on, I think it was it was the first kickoff of the game.
Yeah, we allowed a long kickoff return, and then they scored a few plays later, and I remember we were down like 20-6.
Nick Chubb scored the first.
I remember Myers missed an extra point.
After a Russell Wilson touchdown. Russell Wilson ran in our first touchdown after Nick Chubb scored the first touchdown after their kickoff return. We drove down, got the Russell Wilson running, and then Myers shanked the PAT, and then Mayfield had a rushing touchdown. I remember they went for it on a 4th down earlier.
Seibert also missed an extra point.
Yeah, that was after the third touchdown.
I think we might have kicked 2 field goals after that to make it an 8-point game, and then we scored a touchdown. I forgot who scored the touchdown.
Jerron Brown.
And then Jerron Brown?
Jerron Brown had 2 touchdowns in that game, and this unfortunately was the game where we lost Will Dissly for the year to the torn Achilles.
Yeah, that which ended up probably costing us big time later in the year. But also we got 3 interceptions of Mayfield?
3 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Because I remember one of the key interceptions of that game, if they would have gotten a touchdown on this drive, we would have been screwed. I think this was before the other Jerron Brown touchdown, because I remember first Trey Flowers got his first interception. I don't think we did anything with it. And then when Cleveland was driving down the field, hoping to get a score, then Mayfield tried throwing for Jarvis Landry. Shaquille Griffin, I think, tipped it, and Tedrick Thompson picked it off in the end zone and took it out for a good little return to about the Seattle 20-yard line. And then we went down, and I think we ended up hitting Jerron Brown for a touchdown and tried going for 2, which basically got us in the game. And this was basically Jerron Brown's best game as a Seattle Seahawk, because he had the 2 touchdowns. And then later on, and then Chris Carson, not to mention, had a good game running the ball too. And then he had what would be the game-winning touchdown. And what came back to bite Cleveland in the ass was all those times that when they went for it on 4th down with Nick Chubb. And then, of course, he did that crazy challenge earlier, which was dumb, when Nick Chubb had an easy walk-in touchdown. We stopped him on 4th down. Dixon had a bad punt. And then Cleveland just went ahead with a Nick Chubb touchdown after that bad punt. And then we go downfield, and we hit Tyler Lockett. They ended up marking Lockett short at first.
There was a less than goal in that game, too.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then we went downfield, and then Lockett was marked short of a touchdown, and then Carson ran it in easily, and then KJ Wright had the last interception of the game when Cleveland had the ball, and then we just got the first down to Metcalf to basically end the game. But also Ziggy.
Yeah, I don't think it was I think it was our first win in Cleveland since maybe
2001.
A while.
I think it was our first win in Cleveland since, I don't remember when it was the last time that we had won there. I think it was 2001 or something like that. But I remember another
long drought.
Another key play in that game against the Browns was when Ziggy Ansah stripped Nick Chubb on that play, on that dump-off pass play, and Ziggy didn't give up on the play, and he actually managed to rip the ball out of Chubb's hands, and it just landed right in Ziggy's lap, and he just sat on it for that turnover, which ended up being pretty key too. So yeah,
and it was just a great road win, forcing 4 turnovers, and it just pretty much derailed Cleveland's season after that.
Yeah.
I think the very next week they lost to the Patriots on the road.
Yeah, we basically said that we were the.
They were all hype.
They were all hype, and
Although they were all hype when Tennessee went in there and smoked them by 30 in week 1.
We were basically the nail in the coffin, and the Patriots were the dirt over the grave.
Yeah.
That basically killed those two. That two, our win, and then New England's win over them was basically.
And we got revenge for when we lost that 6-3 game in 2011 when Whitehurst started. I still remember it was probably the ugliest game in Seahawks history.
Yeah, and that game was in Cleveland. That was the last time we had played in Cleveland prior to that. So yeah, that was a great comeback. It was frustrating, but it was a great comeback to get that win and piss off a bunch of Browns fans. And pissed off a bunch of Browns fans too.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that too. That was awesome. There was this Brown fan Ohio biker that was talking shit, all this shit this year, saying that we were going to lose and book it. And I guess the only thing he booked when me and Adam did the post game video, I did a little crotch grab in front of the camera on that for in his face.
Oh yeah, I believe I saw that one.
Yeah, I'll never forget that one too. When there was that Browns fan talking shit, and we just freaking go in there and get that comeback win and shut them all up.
Yeah, that was a good win in the season.
Yeah. Up next for win number 3, obviously I was at this game too, and this is the comeback and overtime win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, this was a shootout. And it was probably one of the more exciting finishes we had the entire year. We were down like 21-7 in the first. We played a dreadful first half.
And Mike Evans and Perriman and who else was killing us in the air at the receivers?
Godwin?
Yeah, Godwin. All those receivers. Jameis played one of his best one of his best games against us. Other than
he actually really did. Did he throw any interceptions in this game?
I think he had a fumble.
Yeah, he had a fumble, but I don't think he threw any interceptions. But he threw for probably close to 400 yards or something.
Then Tyler Lockett had the first touchdown, and then I remember this was the game where Jacob Hollister broke out.
Yeah, this was Jacob Hollister's breakout game, and this was also the game where
and Metcalf had that.
Matt Gay shanked like a 52-yard field goal before halftime that would have put him up 11. But it was also the game where Myers missed 2 field goals,
including one that could have won the game and instead sent us to overtime. And I remember DK Metcalf had a long touchdown, and Tyler Lockett had 2 touchdowns in that game too, including the first one. And Jacob Hollister had an earlier touchdown. But I remember when Metcalf just turned on the Jets and just torched Tampa on that one long touchdown that put us, I think, in the lead for a little bit.
And I also remember that fumble recovery by Rasheem Green after Chris Carson had fumbled it in that game.
Yeah, and I remember Green's fumble. I wanted to see Rasheem Green take that one to the house. That would have been awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a game I wish I could have gone to. Unfortunately, I witnessed that fucking clunker before Christmas against Arizona.
Yeah, but then I remember... Myers ended up missing what would have been the game-winning kick. It was tough, we're missing the 2 kicks, but thankfully Matt Gay missed that earlier one. Then we go to overtime, and I just remember the way we drove down the field before that when we hit DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett they were just killing it that entire game.
Yeah, and it reminded me of the NFC Championship where we got the ball, won the toss, and just went right down the field.
Yeah, we did. That's exactly what happened. We won the toss, and then we had a big time drive, and then I remember I was filming for my YouTube channel my reaction at the end, and I remember just filming it, thinking what's going to happen. I got the drive, and next thing you know, we were driving, and then I was just out of my face, and during that drive, and then we hit Hollister for the win, and I was like, Hollister for the win! Hollister for the win! Because Hollister caught the game-winning touchdown. He barely got that ball across the plane too. I remember that for Hollister's touchdown. They reviewed the play.
Yeah, they did review it, and it was similar to as Pete Carroll said, it was similar to the play where he got tackled inches short in the Sunday night game against San Francisco.
Yeah, the one at home.
Except he actually got across the goal line.
Yeah, I remember that too, but that Tampa Bay game though, that was a thriller in Century.
We also got revenge on them for that 14-5 loss in 2016 in Tampa.
Yeah, that was a perfect way to get revenge.
It also reminded me a lot of the 2013 game at home, our Super Bowl year where we fell
21-0
when Mike Glennon was starting for them.
I was at that game too.
It was eerily. It was so similar to that 2013 game. For whatever reason, Tampa plays us tough. I mean, they might not be a very good team, but man, it's hard for us to figure them out.
It really is. But other than that,
we've had two overtime games with Tampa in the last 6 years.
We have, and they were both in Seattle.
So we've had some thrillers with Tampa Bay.
We did, and that's why this win is number 3 because we won. I think we ended up winning that game 40 to 30, 40 to 34. That's what I remember.
Yeah, it was one of the games where I think it was the game where our defense gave up the most points.
And I remember at the end of that, I clowned the Rams for losing to Tampa Bay this season.
Yeah, because when they lost to Tampa Bay in the Coliseum and we were watching Red Zone, it was a lot. It was a loss that just killed them. Kind of like this next one that we're gonna mention.
Yep. Speaking of that, the number 2 win of the 2019 season for the Seattle Seahawks. Our number 2 win. I was in a suite for this game, and I remember this. We added Paul Allen, the late Paul Allen, as the 12th member to the Seahawks Ring of Honor. Number 2, Week 5, Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams in CenturyLink Field. This one was a close, heart-pounding, and the finish was just epic, which one that we did not think would happen, which would end up to come back and be one of the sole reasons why the Rams had the Super Bowl hangover and did not even make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it was. I got off really late on that night for that Thursday night game in early October, and I remember getting home, and it was like midway through toward the end of the second quarter, and I mean we were down 6-0 early, and then,
yeah, the key was to that one was holding the Rams to those 2 field goals, and then a little later on, Russell Wilson, we get that drive, and Russell Wilson hits Tyler Lockett for probably one of the top catches of the entire NFL season. The completion percentage was so low on that, and Tyler Lockett on the tiptoes on the side, on the southeast side, makes an incredible lean, catches the ball, keeps the toes inbound for a touchdown to put us up 7-6. It was one of the craziest catches. I actually got it on the video from that game too, and I could barely tell. And once I saw the refs' arms go up saying touchdown, when I saw the camera, I could not believe that Lockett had caught that ball with the way that he pulled it off. It was just that awesome of a play.
Oh yeah, it was, and I remember. So Myers, and this is about like a 40-yard field goal with about a minute and 50 seconds left in the second quarter.
And then before that though,
they scored a touchdown. The Rams scored a touchdown. Goff hit Cup with about 5 seconds left, and it was 14-13. So it was a close game. It was a 1-point game at half.
Yeah, but I remember then. I remember also. I think before the half, Russell Wilson hit a wide open touchdown pass to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, Metcalf had a touchdown in that game.
Yeah, Metcalf on that play just torched the entire Rams secondary. I remember that ball was a beautiful rainbow pass dime. I saw it right from my suite. I went back to the TV to show everybody the touchdown, the places the TVs are behind, and since the TV was behind in real time. So it was just a really great rainbow pass by Russell Wilson, and to hit DK Metcalf. We were down for a while too, because I remember Gerald Everett.
Took the lead in the third quarter, and then we regained the lead.
Well, David Moore got a touchdown in that game too, and then later on this drive where we needed it the most to take the lead, we go down the field, and I think we got another Jason Myers field goal in that mix too, and we got a key stop, and then we go down. And then it was
a key play in that game was Al Woods stopping the 2-point conversion.
But before that, Al Woods did stop a 2-point conversion. But before the half, though, too, I remember, which was the drive where we missed that field goal. I think Bobby Wagner and Jadeveon Clowney stripped Todd Gurley when they were driving down the field, and that was one of the turnovers of the game. And then we go downfield, and then it was do or die time. We really needed a touchdown here. 4th down. I think it was 4th and goal, was it?
Yeah, it might have been, yeah.
And then Russell Wilson gets open. I cannot believe the Rams left Chris Carson wide open, and Carson almost dropped it. He bobbled it. Wilson hits Carson in the end zone. He bobbled it, but then he brought it in, kept his feet in bounds for what would end up being the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, because it was 20 It was 29-24, and it made it 30-29.
We went for 2 points.
We went for 2, and Metcalf couldn't quite bring it in. I think the throw was low.
And then, even though I think he's going to be gone this season, on the next defensive stand, and I know Pete threw the challenge flag on this one, Tedrick Thompson made an incredible interception, which if we would have been able to convert a couple more first downs, we would have probably been able. The game still would have been the final score. We just would have been able to take a knee, and we just decided to get cute with it, and with that reverse play, we lost yards, and we ended up having to punt instead.
Yeah, and then the Rams got the ball back with some time left.
Yeah, Rams got the ball back. I was just nervous. Now keep in mind, my heart was pounding.
I was like, oh no.
I was thinking the same thing too, because remember, I was in a suite with a bunch of people. I was in the Wells Fargo suite of that game. I was just thinking, God, do not let them get in the Zerline field goal range. Because we know how automatic Zerline pretty much is.
Because they were in position to win the game, because we failed that 2-point conversion to try to go up 3.
Which would have sent the game to overtime if he had made it. If he had made it.
Yeah, and a key play was they got to delay a game.
They did. Bobby Wagner was the one that spotted it, and he did the thing to make the ref notice the play clock and hit 0 for that delay a game,
too. It went from a 39 to a 44-yard field goal attempt, but still.
And Gerald Everett was.
He probably should have made.
And Gerald Everett was killing us during that drive, too.
Gerald Everett and Cooper Kupp killed us that game.
The entirety of that game. And then the kick gets set up. I was thinking, oh my gosh. I mean, I was thinking, man, are we really going to lose on the night? And then Zerline goes up, kicks it, and by some miracle, and I'm going to say this, though, too, because during that week, I lost a friend of mine, my buddy Doug Rochester. God rest his soul. I lost him during that week, unfortunately. I won't say how he died, but I think it was him and Paul Allen that slightly blew that ball a little bit to the right. Those spirits, you could tell Paul Allen's spirit was not going to let the Seahawks lose on a night where he became the 12th member of the Ring of Honor. You could feel his spirit, and deep down for me, I didn't just feel his. I felt my friend Doug, his spirit helping him out.
It was a thrilling finish.
And that would end up being one of the sole reasons that was one of the sole plays that solidified the Rams Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, it was a loss that ended up just costing them dearly, and of the reason why they went 9-7 and they were on their couch.
That missed kick, Greg Zerline, is the reason the Rams did not make the playoffs. And it ended up coming back to bite them with the way they lost to Dallas. And then, obviously, we watched their season end against the 49ers on that Saturday game.
Where they could have beaten the 49ers, but Goff throws that pick 6 before halftime.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, though. I will pin one of the main reasons that they didn't make the playoffs to that Thursday night win for that game. Yeah. The biggest choke that basically was one of the chokes that solidified their Super Bowl hangover.
Like you said, the loss in the Coliseum to Tampa.
Yep.
Those were the 2 games that cost them dearly.
Yep. And also their loss to Pittsburgh, which we were reacting to on Red Zone.
Mason Rudolph.
That was and Minkah Fitzpatrick was killing them.
Yeah.
And now, let's think of some honorable mentions.
I would have to say.
I'm gonna say
the Monday night game against Minnesota late in the year.
That was a good one. Minnesota, David.
We had a 17-point fourth quarter lead, and then all of a sudden, Minnesota had a furious rally, and we had to hold them off in the end. And it was another shootout.
And then 37-30. And Myers got the key field goal, and then on the kickoff, Malik Turner actually jarred the ball loose on the hit, and Travis Homer recovered it after later on when he had that fake punt run for that first down.
Yeah.
All right, another honorable mention. I would have to say the first game that we ever went live for regular season, where we played the Arizona Cardinals in, and then I had the crazy reaction to Jadeveon Clowney's pick 6.
Oh, yeah.
And then freaking Will Dissly had the touchdown, and then C.J. Prosise had that touchdown, and even though Carson was carving them up on the running game all day, and that was back in, I think that was week 4.
That was week 4.
Yeah, that was that. Those are honorable mentions. And finally, last but not least, the obvious number one. The number one win of the 2019 Seahawks season. Monday Night Football, Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, Seahawks 49ers, the Monday Night Thriller.
Oh, yeah, this was...
a game that everybody was on the edge of their seats. Granted, I know there was some things, but fuck it. This is the obvious number one for all Seahawks fans.
And this was right after the Tampa Bay shootout.
It was, and this was before our bye week too. So
yeah.
So yeah, everyone was picking San Francisco, obviously, in that one. All the analysts.
They were 8-0 at the time,
undefeated, and then we come in, and obviously the 49ers got off that start. I thought Shaquille Griffin
they had a good first quarter.
I thought Shaquille Griffin at first got screwed out of an interception on that play, but they called a pass interference on Jamar Taylor. They ended up getting a field goal, and then they get a Kendrick Bourne touchdown, and for a while it was back and forth. And then, all of a sudden, we get that pressure. Jaron Reed hits Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo fumbles the ball. Jadeveon Clowney scoops and scores. This was Jadeveon Clowney's breakout game in that game, too.
Yeah, this was his best game of the season.
And then later on, we were able to... and then what else happened? I know Metcalf got stripped on a play, too, and the halftime ended with a...
second touchdown, I think it was to Jacob Hollister.
It was, and it was this was... Obviously, we were down 10-7 at the half because of that DK Metcalf fumble, and then it was just back and forth with the turnovers, too. And then we get a key play. Garoppolo tries, I think, to hit Deebo Samuel, and it tipped off of him, and Quandre Diggs in his debut game had a key interception. He got it down to about the 20, and then Russell Wilson hits Jacob Hollister for a touchdown, which Hollister caught that off the front of his helmet, holding that in, and that gave us the lead. And this was a back and forth game.
Yeah, and then
Carson got a touchdown later on too.
Carson, and then San Francisco gets a touchdown. They get it. It's 21-18.
Russell fumbled it, and Jermaine Ifedi should have fallen down with it.
It's 21-21, and then they exchanged field goals.
And this was a game where this fresh kicker out of nowhere comes in, and he was clutch at up to the
because McLaughlin made like the 45-yarder to send it into overtime.
But then
overtime was.
But hold up.
Craziest.
And there were some plays too where some of our linebackers really should have had the game-winning interception.
We should have ended that game in regulation. We should have had a game-sealing interception.
But the 49ers got in there. McLaughlin kicked that field goal to send it to overtime, and the coin toss a little crazy. I know that they said we won it, but I mean it went back and forth. We get the ball first. We ended up going down the field. Malik Turner made a big play, and then I remember Josh Gordon made a key third down play in the regulation too. Way before the suspension.
Was this the same drive where they called the phantom sack on Wilson?
Yeah, this was the same drive, the overtime drive, where they called the phantom sack before he hits Malik Turner for the first down.
It was probably also the same drive where he threw an interception.
Yeah, to Greenlaw. Greenlaw. Wilson unfortunately throws that interception to Greenlaw.
To Dre Greenlaw.
Dre Greenlaw gets an interception. We managed to knock him out of bounds, and then Frisco goes down a little bit of the field, and then they were able to set up. I think we got a key stop on that play too, and it was a key stop where they marked him just short, and then they decided to bring out McLaughlin to kick the field goal, and then the pressure just got to McLaughlin, and that kick was nowhere near.
He 9-ironed it.
He freaking shanked it. It was way wide to the right, right into the tunnel.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad shank job.
Yeah, and then we were like, oh my gosh, we actually got. And then after that missed kick, we go 3-and-out. We end up punting, and then we end up going 3-and-out. Shaquille Griffin makes a key stop on third down when Garoppolo tried throwing it deep, and he managed to bat it down, which if Frisco would have ran the ball, this game could have easily ended in a tie, and it would have still affected. Not that it really mattered later on this season, but this was obviously... And then we get the ball, we go down the field, get it to the last seconds of overtime, and I forgot who we hit to set up Jason Myers.
Could it have been Malik Turner?
Maybe I don't remember, but it was just a great drive. We set it up. Final 4 seconds in overtime. Practically played a whole another quarter. And Jason Myers, they tried to ice the kicker.
Yeah, they tried that. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan tried to ice the kicker.
And then we go in there, and then Jason Myers just thinned the needle on that kick.
He just snuck it through the right upright.
Yep, snuck it through, and I remember.
Seconds of overtime.
And we went, and we were just going wild. And that, everyone, is your number 1 win of the Seahawks 2019 season.
Yeah, that was a great game.
And then of course I dropped the video with me and Adam to poke a little fun at them because we handed Frisco their first loss of the season, and
we were one of their 3. It sucks that they got their revenge in Seattle, but it was nice.
But nothing's more satisfying nothing was more satisfying than that Monday night game. That Monday night win was satisfying.
Yeah.
Because we had lost at Levi's the year before that, and we got that revenge for that one. And then obviously Frisco this year.
The revenge is if we can come back and win the division next year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe sweep those guys next year.
Yeah.
I want revenge for that Sunday night game.
Oh yeah, I think everyone's got that first home game against them on their calendar, depending on when we get to play them at home. But
yeah,
it's gonna depend on what we do in the draft and free agency. But yep. We just had to put that out there. This game, but yeah, that Monday night game for me was the game of the year.
It was.
Yeah, that was, and my favorite Seahawk win of the year by far.
Yeah.
Back and forth, just a great Monday night game, and just to finish it off in the final winding seconds of overtime.
Yeah, both teams looked exhausted at the end.
Yeah, and we were heading into the bye week with that one too, but it was just great, and those are your top 5 Seahawk wins of the 2019 season. Let me know, fellow 12s, let me know what your favorite wins of the season were this year. Put them down in the comments down below. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notification. That's just Dallas's little chihuahuas barking in the background on the speakerphone, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, those are my dogs. Sorry, everybody. My mom just got home.
Yeah, but other than that, we're gonna watch those conference championships. Bring on the next season. Bring on the draft. Bring on free agency, and let's just see what the Seahawks decide to do this free agency with all the free agents. See who we resign. See who we decide to let go, and then obviously we got 10 picks in the draft this year. So let's see what we do with those draft picks.
Yep.
But we're gonna just relax. Have a good off season, and when we get back to it, we'll be ready to go. And if you know how it is, you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. Sam Dog and Dallas Stewart signing out, and as always, go Seahawks.